Today is the best day of your life, not because everything is perfect, but because something within you is finally ready to awaken. Take a slow breath with me, gently. Don't rush it. Just let the air fill your chest, as if you are allowing life itself to enter you again. And as you exhale, I want you to release the weight you've been carrying, the silent pressure, the expectations, the quiet exhaustion you haven't even had words for. My dear, I know how mornings can feel. Sometimes you wake up already tired, not from sleep, but from thinking, from hoping, from waiting. There's this quiet question that lingers in your chest, isn't there? When will things finally change? When will it be my turn? When will life feel lighter? And yet, here you are, another morning, another beginning. But what if I told you something very gently, something your mind may not fully believe yet, but your heart is already leaning toward? What if today is not just another day, but a doorway? Not a loud, dramatic doorway, not something that arrives with fireworks or certainty, but a quiet, sacred opening, the kind that only reveals itself when you slow down enough to notice. Take another breath, because this moment, right here, this is where everything begins to shift. You see, we've been taught to look at life in a certain way. We've been conditioned to believe that the best day is something that happens later, when the money comes, when the relationship appears, when the problems disappear, when everything finally aligns. But sweetheart, that belief has been quietly keeping you stuck, because it tells your mind that today is not enough. And when today is not enough, you unknowingly push away the very energy that could transform it. Let me ask you something, gently. What if the best day of your life doesn't arrive when everything changes, but when you do? What if it begins the moment you decide, even softly, even imperfectly, to meet this day differently? Not with pressure, not with fear, but with presence. Because life, real life, doesn't respond to force. It responds to energy, to awareness, to the quiet state you carry within you. Imagine a seed for a moment, a small, fragile seed buried beneath the soil. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. No growth, no movement, just stillness. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is taking place. Roots are forming. Life is preparing. Transformation is already underway, even before anything becomes visible. And my dear, that is you. You may look at your life and feel like nothing is changing, like you're still waiting, still hoping, still in the same place. But what if, beneath the surface, everything is already rearranging for you? What if this very morning, this quiet, ordinary morning, is part of something sacred unfolding? You don't see the roots, but they are there. You don't see the alignment, but it is happening. And the moment you stop resisting where you are, is the moment you begin to receive what is coming. Take that in for a second, because this is where the shift begins. Not outside of you, but within you. You see, most people wake up and immediately step into lack, into comparison, into worry. Their first thoughts are about what is missing, what hasn't happened yet, what could go wrong. And without realizing it, they carry that energy into the entire day. But today, we are doing something different. Today, you are choosing a new way. Not perfectly, not forcefully, but intentionally. I want you to place your hand gently on your heart and just feel your presence there. No judgment, no pressure, just awareness. and softly in your mind, repeat this. Today is the best day of my life. I know. A part of you might resist that. A part of you might say, but how can that be true? And that's okay. Don't fight that voice. Just let the words sit gently within you, like a seed. Because these words are not about convincing your mind, they are about opening your energy. You are not declaring perfection. You are declaring possibility. And there is a very powerful difference. Because when you say, today is the best day of my life, you are not saying everything is already perfect. You are saying, I am open. I am available. I am ready to meet life differently today. And life responds to that openness in ways you cannot always predict, but can always feel. You see, the truth is, the day itself is neutral. It doesn't come with meaning attached. It becomes what you bring to it. And for so long, you may have been bringing fear, doubt, hesitation, exhaustion. Not because you wanted to, but because you didn't know another way. But now, something is shifting. Right here, in this moment, you are beginning to understand that your experience of life is not created by circumstances alone, but by the state you wake up in, the energy you carry, the story you repeat. And today, you are choosing a new story, not a loud, unrealistic one, but a gentle, grounded one. A story that says, something good is unfolding for me today. Even if I can't see it yet, I trust that something is aligning. I don't need to chase today. I just need to meet it. Feel the softness of that. No pressure, no urgency, just presence. Because the moment you stop chasing the day is the moment the day begins to meet you halfway. Isn't that beautiful? Take another breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your body soften. You don't have to carry yesterday into today. You don't have to replay old conversations, old disappointments, old fears. This morning is not connected to your past unless you choose to bring it with you. And my dear, you don't have to. You are allowed to begin again, right now. Not when you feel ready, not when everything makes sense, but right here in this breath, because this breath is new. This moment is new, and so are you, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. You see, transformation doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels quiet, subtle, almost unnoticeable, like a gentle shift in the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you respond. And that is enough. That is more than enough. Because big changes, the kind you've been waiting for, don't come from force. They come from small, consistent shifts in awareness. And today, you've already begun just by being here, just by listening, just by opening yourself, even slightly, to a new way of seeing your life. And I want you to know something very clearly. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing your moment. You are in the middle of becoming. And becoming takes time. Just like the seed, just like the roots, just like everything in nature that grows in its own perfect rhythm. So instead of asking, why hasn't it happened yet? What if you gently ask, who am I becoming while I wait? Because that question changes everything. It brings your power back to you. It shifts your focus from the outside to the inside. And it reminds you that this journey is not just about getting something. It's about becoming someone who can receive, someone who can hold joy without fear, someone who no longer doubts their worth or their timing. And that, my dear, begins today, not tomorrow, not someday. Today, because today, you are choosing to wake up differently. You are choosing to see differently. You are choosing to feel differently, even if it's just a little. And that little shift is enough to start changing everything. And as you sit with that feeling, that quiet possibility that something beautiful is already beginning, I want you to notice what's happening inside you right now. Not what your mind is saying, but what your body is feeling. Is there a softening somewhere? A small release? Maybe it's subtle, almost too gentle to notice unless you slow down. That, right there, is the beginning of your shift. You see, my dear, change doesn't arrive the way most people expect it to. It doesn't always come as a sudden breakthrough or a dramatic moment where everything finally makes sense. More often, it comes as a whisper, a quiet inner knowing, a soft realization that you don't have to carry things the way you used to. And the moment you begin to feel that, even slightly, your entire inner world starts to rearrange itself. Because your life is not just responding to what you do, it is responding to who you are being. And who you are being is shaped by how you feel moment by moment. So let me ask you something gently. When you wake up and immediately think about everything that's missing, how does your body feel? Heavy? Tight? Restless? And when your body feels that way, what kind of day do you think you are preparing yourself for? You see, it's not the day creating your emotions. It's your emotions shaping your experience of the day. And this is where your power lives. Not in controlling everything outside of you, but in becoming aware of what is happening within you. Because awareness is where freedom begins. Take a slow breath again. And this time, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you are standing in front of a door. Not just any door, but a door that represents your life, your experiences, your opportunities, your relationships, everything you've been waiting for. Now here's the part most people don't realize. That door doesn't open because you knock harder. It doesn't open because you force it, or stress about it, or keep checking it every second. It opens when you are ready to walk through it. And readiness is not about external conditions. It's about internal alignment. It's about becoming the version of yourself who no longer doubts what's on the other side, who no longer questions whether they are worthy, who no longer carries fear into every possibility. And I know that might feel like a lot. You might be thinking, but how do I become that person? And the answer is so much simpler and softer than you've been taught. You don't become that person by trying harder. You become that person by letting go, little by little, of who you are not. Let that sink in. You don't need to add anything to yourself. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to rush your growth. You simply need to release the layers of fear, of doubt, of old beliefs that were never truly yours to begin with. And this doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments like this. Moments where you pause, where you breathe, where you choose a slightly different thought. Moments where instead of saying, "Nothing is working," you softly say, "Maybe something is aligning, even if I can't see it yet." Moments where instead of saying, "I'm tired of waiting," you gently say, "I am growing into the person who can receive what I've been asking for." Do you feel the difference in that? It's not about denying your feelings. It's about expanding them, softening them, allowing something new to exist alongside them. Because, my dear, you can feel uncertain and still be open. You can feel tired and still be becoming. You can feel lost and still be guided. Nothing about your current emotions disqualifies you from what is meant for you. Nothing. And this is so important to understand, because so many people believe they have to feel perfect before life can change. They think they need to eliminate every doubt, every fear, every insecurity. But that's not how transformation works. Transformation happens when you stop waiting to feel perfect and start allowing yourself to feel present. Because presence is where your power is. Presence is where life meets you. Presence is where you begin to notice the small shifts, the subtle signs, the quiet openings that were always there, but you were too distracted to see. Take a breath and just be here, not in yesterday, not in tomorrow, just here, because this moment, right now, is enough. And from this place, we begin to gently shape your inner world, not forcefully, not with pressure, but with intention. I want you to imagine your thoughts like a soft stream flowing gently through your mind. You don't need to stop the stream. You don't need to control every drop. You simply become aware of what is flowing, and you gently choose what you give your attention to. Because attention is energy, and where your attention goes, your experience follows. So today, instead of giving all your attention to what's missing, we're going to shift it just a little toward what is possible, not in a forced way, but in a curious way, a gentle wondering, what if something good is already on its way to me? What if today holds something I didn't expect, something beautiful, something aligned? What if I don't need to figure everything out right now? Let those questions sit with you, not as demands, but as invitations. Because questions like these open space, they soften resistance, they allow life to move instead of being blocked by fear. And now, I want you to come back to your breath again. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, I want you to quietly repeat within yourself, I am open to this day. Again, gently, I am open to this day. Feel the meaning behind those words. You are not forcing the day to be anything. You are not demanding outcomes. You are simply opening yourself to experience, to receive, to notice. And that openness is magnetic. It draws in experiences that match it. It allows opportunities to find you without struggle, without force. Because when you are open, you are no longer pushing life away with tension, with doubt, with resistance. You are allowing it. And allowing is where the magic happens. You see, my dear, life is always responding to you. Not just to your actions, but to your energy, your state, your quiet inner expectations. And for so long, you may have been expecting things to go wrong, to be delayed, to not work out. Again, not because you wanted to, but because that's what you were used to. But today, we are gently shifting that expectation, not into unrealistic positivity, but into soft possibility, into a quiet knowing that says, something can go right today, something can align, Something can surprise me. And when you hold that energy, even lightly, you begin to notice things you would have otherwise missed. A conversation that feels different, a moment of peace that wasn't there before, an idea, an opportunity, a feeling that gently appears. And you realize maybe the best day of your life isn't about one big event. Maybe it's about many small moments that slowly begin to change the way you feel about your life. And that is how everything transforms, not all at once, but moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by choice. And right now, you are choosing. You are choosing to slow down, to become aware, to soften, to open, and that choice, no matter how small it feels, is powerful. More powerful than you realize, because it is setting something in motion, something you may not fully see yet, but you will feel. And as you begin to settle into this softer space within yourself, I want you to gently bring your awareness to something deeper, something quieter, something that has been shaping your life in ways you may not have even realized. Your patterns, not the ones you see on the surface, but the ones that live underneath, the ones that quietly influence how you think, how you feel, how you respond to life. Take a slow breath, because there is nothing here to judge, nothing here to fix, only something to understand. You see, my dear, many of the things you've been experiencing, the delays, the doubts, the cycles that seem to repeat, they are not happening because you are doing something wrong. They are happening because something within you has been trying to protect you. And I know that might sound surprising, but even your fear, even your hesitation, even your moments of self-doubt, they were never your enemies. They were learned responses, soft, protective mechanisms your mind created at some point to keep you safe, to help you avoid pain, to help you navigate a world that may have once felt uncertain. And for a while, those patterns served you. They helped you cope. They helped you survive. But now, you are no longer in that same place. You are not the same version of yourself anymore. And yet, sometimes those old patterns still speak, as if nothing has changed. They whisper things like, be careful, don't expect too much, don't get your hopes up, you might be disappointed, stay where it's familiar, even if it doesn't feel good. And when you hear those whispers, you might think they are your truth, but they are not your truth. They are echoes. Echoes of a past version of you, trying to keep you safe in a present that is asking you to grow. Take that in gently, because this is where so many people get stuck. They try to change their lives without understanding the patterns that are quietly guiding their choices. They try to move forward while something inside them is still holding on, still afraid, still uncertain. And so they find themselves in a loop, wanting more, but holding back, dreaming, but doubting, opening, but then closing again. Does that feel familiar, even a little? If it does, I want you to know there is nothing wrong with you. You are simply becoming aware, and awareness is the beginning of freedom. Because the moment you see a pattern, you are no longer completely controlled by it. You create space, space to choose differently, space to respond instead of react, space to gently say, I see you, but I don't have to follow you anymore. Take a breath, and let's go a little deeper together. Sometimes, without realizing it, you may have been holding a quiet fear of receiving. Yes, receiving. Not because you don't want good things, but because part of you wonders, what if I lose it? What if I'm not ready? What if it changes me or others around me? And so, even though you desire more, there's a small part of you that keeps things at a distance, that hesitates, that delays, that unconsciously creates space between you and what you've been asking for. And my dear, that is okay. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human, because receiving requires openness, and openness can feel vulnerable. It asks you to trust without guarantees, to step forward without knowing every outcome, to allow yourself to experience joy without bracing for loss. And that can feel unfamiliar, especially if you've been used to protecting yourself. But here's the gentle truth I want you to hold on to. You don't need to force yourself to receive. You simply need to become aware of where you've been holding back and soften just a little, not all at once, just a little, like opening a window instead of breaking down a wall, like letting in a small amount of light instead of overwhelming yourself with brightness, because even a small opening changes everything. Take another breath and place your attention on your heart again, and softly, without pressure, repeat within yourself, I am safe to receive. Again, I am safe to receive. Let those words move through you. Notice if anything shifts, even slightly, because sometimes the only thing standing between you and what you desire is the belief that it's not safe, not stable, not meant to last. And today, we are gently releasing that belief, not by fighting it, but by introducing something new, a softer truth, a kinder perspective, a deeper trust. You are not here to struggle your way through life. You are not here to chase endlessly, to prove your worth, to earn every moment of peace. You are here to experience, to grow, to receive, to become. And yes, there will be moments of uncertainty. Yes, there will be moments where you don't have all the answers. But that doesn't mean you are off track. It means you are in motion. It means life is unfolding. And the more you soften into that, the more you begin to notice something beautiful. You are not being held back. You are being prepared to hold more, prepared to understand more, prepared to experience life in a deeper, fuller, more aligned way. And preparation takes time, just like the seed, just like the roots, just like everything that grows beneath the surface before it becomes visible. So instead of asking, why is this taking so long? What if you gently ask, what is this moment preparing me for? Feel the difference in that question. It doesn't come from frustration. It comes from curiosity, from trust, from openness, and those are the energies that move you forward, even when you can't see the full path yet. Take a slow breath, and now I want to guide you into something very simple, something you can carry with you beyond this moment, into your day, into your life. As you move through today, I want you to begin noticing the small things, not the big outcomes, not the distant goals, but the small, quiet moments. The way the light touches a surface, the way your breath feels when you slow down, the way a conversation shifts, even slightly, because the best day of your life is not built on one perfect moment. It is built on awareness, on presence, on your ability to notice, to feel, to receive what is already here. And when you begin to notice the small things, something extraordinary happens. Your mind stops searching for what's missing and starts recognizing what's already unfolding. And that is where fulfillment begins, not in the future, but here, now, within this moment, within this breath, within you. So as we come back to where we started, I want you to feel this, not just hear it. Today is the best day of your life. Not because everything is resolved, not because every question has been answered, but because you are no longer waiting to feel alive. You are allowing yourself to be present. You are allowing yourself to soften. You are allowing yourself to trust, even if it's just a little, and that changes everything. So move gently today. Speak kindly to yourself. Pause when you need to. Breathe when things feel heavy. And remind yourself again and again, I am open. I am becoming. I am ready in my own time. And my dear, as you walk into this day with this new awareness, this quiet openness, just know something beautiful is already finding its way to you. And this time, you are ready to receive it.